Sustainability. What about it? Hi everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to speak about the topic sustainability. And for the people that don't know me that well, my name is Melody and I'm an entrepreneur in holistic lifestyle and business. And since years I've been working on a master plan of a multidisciplinary academy on a self-sustainable campus or resort, whatever you want to call it. And that is something that I'm in the midst in. First, for quite a while I worked on it on my own, and since years together with my partner Ruud as well. And this is something we're in the midst of a breakthrough with that, and really wonderful things are happening and finally coming into place, getting more tangible, at least for people from outside, because to me and to us it was tangible all the time, and obvious and visual, and more things are getting into motion in all areas of the master plan. And with the holistic vegan lifestyle brand, the Core Bonnet Lifestyle, that is the umbrella part of it as well. So this shortly about me. And sustainability is something that we is a big part of it, because we are in the business of holistic, healthy, conscious and sustainable lifestyle and business. And sustainability is quite a topic, quite a theme, and it's very broad, and there's so much to be told about it. So bear with me, don't shoot your arrows at me for not covering everything all at once. And in my opinion it is impossible, because it actually it is about life and about a universal topic and theme that has many facets to it. But I do want to and can share with you what I want to share about it, and what my experiences are and my viewpoint, and then again I can also never cover everything I can share about it, or that we can discuss about it, because then we can go on for many years, so that you guys know. So why am I doing this? As a holistic and energetic therapist, if you want to call it, I don't really give it names, but you can call it whatever you want, because there are many different beings with many different experiences that want to call something in many different ways. So I always say, just call it the way you want it. What I do is, for example, one of the many things I do is intergenerational trauma healing. And there are many themes and topics that are a bit, as people might call it, controversial, but also has it's kind of a quote-unquote taboo for a lot of people to speak about, because there's a lot of trauma on it, intergenerational trauma for most part, and that is why people have difficulty to look at things, acknowledge things, so that it can be healed and transmuted. But I don't have that difficulty, so that is why in other videos that we make, I have already expressed that, and then I decided to do a weekly video with a topic that there's a lot of discussion about, or that is a bit heavy, or that people have difficulty with, so that things can be indeed put into the light, that people can acknowledge things for themselves and together, and just be able that that a space is created where things are that there's the possibility to speak about it and to let it unfold the way it wants to be seen and unfold, and that things can be healed. So again, the topic sustainability, there's a lot to say about it, and there are also many ways you can go about this theme, and that is also why people can have discussions about what is sustainable and what is not. And we always say, my partner and I, is that what is the most important thing in this is that you at all times do your best to make the best choice possible in given circumstances, which doesn't mean that you can at all times come up with all kinds of excuses and to say, well, it's not possible because my partner and I have heard a lot of things that should be impossible, aren't impossible at all, while we are doing it all the time. In fact, if that would be the case, then my partner and I wouldn't be possible to begin with. But we're here, I'm live, and standing in front of others. And so a lot of the times when we do something, someone is attending live, but I can't see who it is. But welcome anyway. So a lot of the times people are saying things to us, nah, that is impossible, you can't do that, and then we have to smile because we just did that, and standing in front of those and doing it or having done that as we speak. So that is something that I really want to emphasize, and I also always say that people can't see something or hear something or perceive something doesn't mean it isn't there or that it is impossible. And you all might have and know how to say it, cases and examples of this from, for example, in history, that people, for example, didn't see ships coming because they just didn't know these objects because they hadn't seen them before, which doesn't mean they weren't there. So when people become more and more aware of things and conscious of things and circumstances, at first they don't believe you, and we deal a lot with that. A lot of the times people don't believe what we are talking about or what we're actually showing or living, but when they become more aware of things, then all of a sudden they are like, yeah, this and that, and we like that because the more the merrier, I say. But this is really something that also, when it concerns sustainability, is definitely the case. People a lot of the times think that a lot isn't possible yet, while it is, and since very long already. There's another one joining. Hi, welcome. I can see who you are, unfortunately, but I definitely welcome you and thank you for joining. Um, okay, so there are a lot of ways that you can go about it, and you can at least yourself do the very best you can in your personal, in your individual life. That can mean indeed. With your garbage, separating it, etc., and being conscious about that. Or you can choose to make choices that are that. Oh, Rainier, hi, wonderful. Now I see it. Hi, how are you doing? Great. So you can choose to, for example, to use less or at least energy as possible in many ways, or water or whatever. You can also choose for options that are the least that have the least bad impact on the environment, like pollution, etc. But an important thing is that you inform yourself, because otherwise you can't make choices if you just don't know about it. If you don't know about the possibilities, if you aren't informed that well, then it's impossible to make certain choices because you just don't know they are possible. At the same time, what I always say, sometimes certain choices might seem the best at some point, but in a given circumstances and in that moment, in that time, other choices might be far more sustainable in the long run or in the greater picture than you might think. And so the most important thing that I want to share about it is that sustainable is always has always to do with and goes along with a long-term vision, a long-term goal, because sustainable is also that something can last for a long time. So you will have the least harming effects with it. That also means when you have a lot of items in your wardrobe or something, a lot of clothing, and okay, see you later. Yes, I wanted to contact you already, so see you later. Thank you for attending. So what is also very important is that you have a lot of stuff in your environment, and a lot of people also are busy with releasing a lot of stuff, and that is definitely a good thing. And it's also very important that you do this in a conscious way. If you just know that on the long term, when you have a long-term vision, that you might need it later again, or for a longer time, then you can better keep it, and instead of throwing it away, or and then later on having to buy it again. The funny thing is that I haven't bought clothing for many years already, because I had a wardrobe, and for me it's a thing that is quite interesting, because I have had the same posture for many years. So people might think, yeah, that's an easy thing, but in other areas, that's other people can say, well, I've had these results, but I don't have to buy things that I don't need all the time. I'm also very conscious with buying things. I only buy things that I really need and that really contribute to my overall well-being and that I feel good about, that I get a higher energy from, instead of doing impulsive um, purchases, which add nothing to my own overall well-being and that of others, and eventually the environment. Because when it doesn't contribute to my health or better my circumstances, then no one actually benefits of it. So why should I do it then? So that is what I'm very conscious with. We do invest a lot in our business and our master plan, and that is something that is also for our own well-being, but also for a lot of others that can benefit of it and our environment. And that is something that not everyone understands either. We are constantly busy with and taking good care of ourselves. What I said before, it is essential to be able to provide for others as well. But what a lot of people don't see or understand is that actually everything we do constantly is for our own well-being and our own benefits, as well as that of the greater good. So other beings can profit from it as well and benefit of it as well. So that is also very sustainable when you don't only think about what do I want in this moment, or what do I think makes me feel better when I have this or do this, but when you put it in a greater picture and also see how it in the end benefits others, that is also very sustainable. Because then it can be used once, but for many purposes, and it gives leverage. So leverage is also very sustainable. So if you have to invest in something, it is quite interesting when you choose to invest in something that has many other effects as well. Being conscious about that is very interesting, and it opens a lot of potential. So when I say that sometimes something doesn't seem the best choice at a given moment, and you might think other things are more sustainable. For example, what we hear a lot, Ruud and I are driving electrically. And so we have an electric car. Ruud has that for many years already. And more we hear people speaking about the harmful things of electric cars and everything that people invented to create a more sustainable, less harmful world. And I totally agree with that. We totally agree with that. Not everything that people create is that beneficial to begin with. So that is something that you should be aware of as well, conscious about. Not everyone tells you you should take at face value right away, but you really have to feel and do research yourself as well, and always speak of your own experience and the experience of others that you know. That is the best thing to go about it. But always, reflect on it yourself, and with the end goal you have in mind. So we totally agree that not everything that is promoted as very beneficial is that way, but everything has to be put in perspective, because we're still dealing with a transition globally, universally. We're still dealing with a society where things work a certain way, and the only thing you can do is making better choices, um, again, within the circumstances that are just fact. The only thing you can do also is, make sure you help the involvement of everything instead of working against it and be stubborn and think like, I don't care, and so I'm not going to contribute either way, even in the smallest way. Well, I know this is a better choice, I'm not going to do that because others don't do it either. It only can evolve when I take my own responsibility, when we take our own responsibility in life. And so when, for example, with the electric cars, we already know and feel this, that there's so much more possible, but the developments aren't there yet. Or people that create things haven't come up with the most beneficial solution there is. So they're in progress, they are in a process, and if it would depend on us, we would create everything ourselves and make the best choices, but that's impossible. That is impossible. Yeah, no, it isn't, but then it will take a very long time. So you're also quote unquote dependent. You have to do it together. So I at least want to encourage to, make it more possible and fluent for these developments to be there than working against it. But people are like, yeah, so with electric cars you have these batteries and you can't recycle them, and there are little children that work on it, and that isn't sustainable and ethical either. And we totally agree with that. In the meantime, there are better solutions already, but they haven't been published yet, or they haven't been made public yet. That is an entire different thing than that. It isn't more sustainable or more beneficial, or it is that it is possible. So we made the choices that are better than, or more beneficial than, directly polluting yourself and almost suffocating yourself and others as well, and which create diseases directly. That is the choice we made, and a lot of other choices that go with it, that we make first, and make the first step that is possible in the given circumstances. And there are ways to do it more sustainable, more ethical, etc. But it isn't offered yet. So it doesn't depend on us, the people that make choices. It depends on the availability of the choice, or the solutions that you want to have. That is very important to be aware of as well. But always see if you can make a better choice than what we already knew or have done before. And about, children working on something, that is with everything consumers buy, almost everything. And this is something that we're very conscious of in in doing business as well, because we want everything to be as healthy, as pure and sustainable as possible. But then again, we also have distributors that we have to deal with, and we are in collaboration with other people, and then certain things aren't possible. But I'm really very happy because there's also major progress in that we're encountering more and more businesses, brands, collaboration partners that are more sustainable, more pure, more ethical in their way of doing and doing business and making impact. So every little bit helps, and we can also always, make sure together and help each other, support each other in making it even better. So that is what we're conscious about, and I also always communicate that to others. So my opinion is when you don't consume too much which isn't needed or doesn't contribute to your own overall well-being and that of others, then you can think about why would you do that. So that is something a lot of gain is to be made. Doing with something you have for a long time, and when it still works, when it still functions, and when it's still a good thing, why throw it away? A society was created where people consume a lot and just throw everything away when they don't feel they like it anymore. But that has a massive impact on the environment, but on yourself as well. What I also do want to emphasize is that the laws of nature always work. So when you don't... Hi, Rachel? I think... Wonderful. I don't really see very good who is joining, but I think you are, and welcome. But what I said about the laws of nature, yeah, indeed. The laws of nature, when people don't experience the effects of their choices right away, it doesn't mean that the effects aren't there. As I said in the beginning, that things they don't see or perceive, don't hear, don't feel right away, it doesn't mean it isn't there. So when we make certain choices, that also has their consequences for ourselves as well as our direct environment, as for the greater good. So in the end, when it doesn't matter when you just don't know things and you have good intentions and you do your best, then you won't have any hardship with that, because you aren't blamed for something. But if you just don't care, then, and you make choices and are like, well, I don't care, then eventually what the saying says, what goes around comes around. So eventually you will get the effects, you will experience the effects of it yourself. And what they also say, what you reap, you sow. What you sow, you reap, sorry. Then it always comes back. And that's obvious, because when you do something, you get the effect of it, either right away or on a long term. So that's where also the long-term vision comes into play, as I said before. So when you can still utilize things and they are good as they are, then just then be selective and just take good care of your stuff and just utilize it as long as you can. Some people say, yeah, just throw these things away, while a lot of things we need for a later moment, for our master plan, for our business. So we are thinking in long term and sustainable, and others think, oh, you don't need that, why don't you throw it away? Of course we remove things and let go of things and detach of a lot of things that we don't need anymore and that doesn't have its value anymore. But we're not just going to throw away things of value that we need for our business and for the greater good and on the long term, and then we'll have to buy it new again. That is a waste of time, energy, money, and in a greater pool. I'm sorry, I don't really see who's attending, but I welcome you all. Charis, okay, wonderful. Hi, great you're attending. So that is the thing, not just consuming anything when you don't need it. Don't throw things away when you can still utilize it. And really be conscious about the choices you make in everything. We spoke about traveling as well. Sometimes you have to make choices, but not only with traveling, but also with utilizing energy or water. Sometimes at one point you have to choose to, for example, take the airplane because it brings you faster to somewhere you have to be. And that has a lot of other benefits that have a bigger impact than when you wouldn't have done that. So you should always weigh the results. That is the most important thing. Always weigh the results, also on the long term and in the greater good. What is the best choice at this moment with the given circumstances and with the goal we have in mind, or that we want to reach? What is the best given choice at the moment? I have done an interview with Ruud as well about, and he's speaking about sustainability as well. You can rewatch that on visionaryspeakersevents.com. And if you feel like you want to share something, you have a topic and a vision, a message to share, and a mission that has to do with, sustaining the planet, taking good care of the planet, and all that is, then definitely let us know. And when you resonate with our core values, then we might invite you to speak about your topic as well, and that we can, together make a wonderful impact and actually create heaven on earth. So don't be too hard on yourself and on others. Well, when you know and you feel you're doing your best and you have good and great intentions, and others as well, just let us do it together, because a lot is possible, as I said, and when you do it together, it's even better. As I said, a lot is to be told about this, and we can discuss about this for many years. But I want to wrap it up. Hi, Leon. Thank you for joining, and hope to see you later. And you guys as well. Until next time with a different topic. And enjoy your life. Take good care of yourself and your environment. And just experience what wonderful things are possible. Hope to see you soon. And until next time.